Our assignment was the virtual family option. Our group was group number 12, which consisted of me, Elise Volkl, Kailah McGee, Isabella Bosco, Caroline Lowery, Allie Kafka, Brett Warner, and Eli Greenspon. Our virtual family was centered around the experiences of Carl, a father with ADHD, and his family members. His family included his girlfriend, daughter, mother, mother-in-law, and his job coach. I have worked with people with disabilities before, both in a summer camp setting and in a school setting. However, those experiences are extremely different from what I experienced with my virtual family. This group project influenced my perspective of living with a person with a disability. Until this project, I had never really considered how things that seem trivial to me in my everyday life can really be impacted by disability. For example, when Carl's family wanted to go on vacation, there were so many extra things to consider before the trip could go smoothly. Another example was Carl trying to find a job, which is often hard enough on its own. Having a disability can really make a job search more difficult. Depending on the disability, the job may really need to be tailored to your abilities. For example, Carl knew that he needed something with little interaction with other people. His ADHD often made him prone to outbursts, and yelling at customers in the workplace would have been less than ideal. Overall, the virtual family helped me realize that to have a relationship with someone with a disability, you need support, resources, and understanding. Receiving responses and having constant interaction with my virtual family helped us bounce ideas off of each other, leading us to solutions to problems and helping us see things from someone else's point of view. The collaborative effort of a family is what kept Carl's life and his family's lives running smoothly and happily, despite any obstacles that arose.
During this project, I learned how real ADHD is. Prior to this, I had heard that it was just a disorder that came from not going outside enough or not being disciplined properly as a child. But I learned that it really is a disorder of the brain that requires intervention and different supports to become successful in everyday life. I also learned that relaxation, for example, isn't the same. Doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. Someone with ADHD needs a lot of stimulation to become calm, whereas someone without it could just read a book on the beach and become calm. And that emphasizes how the environment really impacts how a person with a disability can become successful or limited. By working with my group, I learned how families can come together to create interventions that really work for a person with disability versus having an intervention forced on them, which can really be ineffective because it's not working with the person or centering their needs. And I learned how families can deal with the same stresses and challenges of disability that a person with disability is, but they can also um, feel those victories as well.
Participation in this virtual family has influenced my perspective about disabilities. I've become more aware of the daily challenges that people with disabilities experience and the resources available to them for support. Resources that are not only available for people with a disability, but also to family members and friends of someone with a disability, such as local or community support groups. The growth in my awareness was greatly due to the responses and feedback from other group members. The way in which I responded in discussions was also impacted by guest speakers. After hearing guest speakers talk about their own experience, it allowed me to better understand what it might actually be like to either have a family member with a disability or to be a person living with a disability. And this helped me play my role in the virtual family discussion. This group activity allowed me to view disabilities in a new way. It challenged me to think about the individual lives of people with disabilities and their family members.
The virtual family exercise was extremely beneficial to understanding the dynamic of living in an environment with someone with a disability. In the virtual family, I was Shelby, Carl's girlfriend's mom. Throughout the discussion, I made it clear that I allowed Carl to move in with me about a year ago after he developed a difficult relationship with his biological mother. I explained that Carl's relationship with my daughter brings me happiness. The virtual family was a great learning experience because I was able to dive deeper into understanding how relationships are impacted by ADHD. As Shelby, I noticed that my daughter's relationship with Carl was fairly strong because they had been dating since third grade. I think it is important to stay optimistic within the family because although there are some obstacles that have arisen with Carl's diagnosis of ADHD, his relationship with my daughter has potential to remain successful. With that being said, participating in the discussion opened my eyes to a possible red flag that may occur with people who have ADHD. People are sometimes afraid of this disorder due to the outbreaks of anger that arise due to frustration. In Shelby's position, there were instances where I completely disapproved of the way he treated her and my daughter when he was angry. Overall, speaking for Shelby, I said that I enjoyed having Carl around the house because he was a great help with different household tasks. He was beneficial for an extra set of hands and a great ability to do handyman work to contribute to our home.
Participating in this group opened my eyes to not only attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but how a disability can impact not just the person with it, but their loved ones as well. Our characters were with Kyle when he was facing challenges and when he was growing as an individual and learning more about adjusting to his life to best suit his needs. This exercise has taught me how being a family member of someone with a disability means that you also may have to adjust your life, habits, and especially attitude to make them and your family as a whole work efficiently together. Responding to various family members was an interesting idea because it forced us all to have varying viewpoints and opinions due to us having to get in character. This set up what I would think is a realistic discussion amongst family members about topics that are relevant in everyone's lives. Going on vacation posed some interesting questions, barriers, and solutions, as did moving and Kyle finding a new job. These life changes impact everyone, so I believe this virtual family did bring great awareness of the family dynamic and the disability of ADHD to life. It is difficult to put oneself in the shoes of a family of a person with a disability when that is not your personal experience. But I think this assignment helped us step into those shoes and learn from them to the best of our abilities.
I think this project, or this virtual family, opened my eyes to look at life in a new way. I've always been surrounded by people with disabilities. I have cousins or family members who battle and struggle with disabilities. But just by doing this virtual family, I realized how much of an impact a family member or a friend can make, or how being there for someone as they struggle through the daily life that they don't get to live the same life that I live, but each day is an opportunity, and if you can help those people understand that, then you can make a big change in their lives. I think my group did a great job to build awareness and to show me the impact that it can make and the impact that we can make on someone's life. So I had fun doing the project, and thank you for the opportunity.
I felt like I learned a lot throughout this whole virtual family discussion activity. I had never thought about many of the challenges a family can face when a person has ADHD or any disability for that matter, and I found this to be really eye-opening. The discussion that stuck out most to me was the one where the family decided to go on vacation, and as a group we had to discuss things we were worried about and the challenges that could be involved. And in the next discussion we followed up and talked about the challenges we did face and what was going on with that. And I think this really stuck out to me because it made me realize how something simple and fun can be affected when a lot more has to be considered. People were worried about medication, the car ride, because we were traveling to DC and that was going to be over 12 hours. People were really worried about Carl getting annoyed. And this really stuck out to me because these are all things I had never considered, and it made me think a lot about it. So I really enjoy this activity.